In the last video, I showed the only 3 funds I'd personally use in 2026, but here's where most people still mess it up and they don't even realize it. It's not the funds, it's how they allocate them. If you get this part wrong, a great portfolio can quietly underperform for years, not because the investments were bad, but because the setup didn't match your age, your income, or your timeline. So in this video, I'm gonna walk you through exactly how I would allocate these same 3 funds at different stages of life, step by step, so you can build something that actually works and that you'll stick with for decades. This isn't the perfect allocation because honestly it doesn't exist, but this is the allocation I'd actually use if my goal was long-term growth, low stress, and something I can stick with for decades. And yes, this is very close to how I invest my own money because the best portfolio isn't the smartest one, it's the one you'll stay invested in. Quick recap so we're all on the same page. The 3 funds: VTI, which is the Total Market Foundation, QQQM or SCHG for growth, and SCHD for income and stability, ideally tax advantaged. The question isn't which fund is best, it's when each one deserves more weight in your portfolio. So I'm going to break this down by stages. And as always, this is not financial advice, express or implied. Please contact a licensed financial advisor who can better assist you with your own situation. Let's start with stage number 1, early career, lower income. This is you're in your 20s, maybe your early 30s, something like that. So if you're early in your career, your income is still growing, and retirement is honestly decades away, your biggest advantage is time. You can ride the waves of the ups and downs, and yes, even crashes, while still having a long enough runway to recover any shenanigans along the way. So here's my allocation example for this stage. I would have right around 60 to 70% in VTI, 30 to 40% in QQQM, and then about 0 to 5% in SCHD. If that surprises you, I'll explain it in just a minute. At this stage, I care far more about growth than income. See, dividends feel good, but they don't help you much when the account is still so small. So we got to build it over time. And see, growth builds the engine and then income will come later. And this is why focusing on SCHD at this stage would actually be impactful to your portfolio. You don't need as much income and stability. You should get that from your other sources of income, like your job, freelancing, entrepreneurial skills, or whatever you do for income now. You're still young. And the other thing that's really helpful at this stage is a Roth IRA or any type of tax advantaged account. See, if you have the ability to scale up, let's say you do make a lot of money. You just graduated college, you're 21 years old, and you make an insane amount of money. First of all, congratulations, but also please make sure that you're putting that in something that's going to grow tax-free. A Roth IRA is a good example. For 2026, you can allocate up to $7,500 for individuals into a Roth IRA. That money will grow tax-free. And then down the line, you can withdraw that money absolutely tax-free, including the growth. And that's where especially these income and stability funds can really pay off because they're paying those dividends, which are a taxable event. But if you got them in a tax advantage account, you're in a great position. Now that we've covered stage 1, let's move on to stage number 2. This is what I'm going to call the mid-career or peak earning years. This is you're in your mid-30s to late 40s at this point. And this is where most people finally have enough cash flow from income, but also more responsibilities. And if you play it right, you don't have a lot of debt, you should have enough cash available to invest that money for the future. So my allocation for this particular stage is around 50 to 60% in VTI, 25 to 35% in QQQM or SCHG, and about 10 to 20% in SCHD, again, inside of a tax-advantaged account. So this is where I start introducing income a little bit more, not to live off of, but to start stabilizing the portfolio emotionally. This is the keyword of stabilization in my income and stabilization example. It's not about maximizing returns at all cost. It's just about staying invested. Now let's move on. Let's say you're in stage number 3, which is pre-retirement. At this point, you should have a higher net worth. This is 50-year-olds plus. But now the question changes from how fast can this grow to how predictable is this particular account. This allocation changes quite a bit. 40 to 50% in VTI, 15 to 25% in QQQM or SCHG, and 25 to 40% in SCHD. Growth does still matter, but drawdown risk matters more. This is why we really put the brakes on the higher tech or the NASDAQ type of funds because we want to prepare for getting ready to live off of our portfolio. We want to avoid things like the 2022 drawdown to trigger a poor sequence of returns risk when we're ready for retirement. The last thing we want to do is retire and then look back and say, uh-oh, my account is dropping faster than my spending. You want to be able to live free, live carefree, and still have your portfolio working for you every step of the way for the rest of your life. Now, at this stage, income buys you flexibility, not just cash. And once you're 50 or older, that's the final stage, because at that point, it's game time. It's time to retire. Now, there's also those who retire early, whether that's through full financial independence or Coast Fire or something like that. If you'd like me to talk a little bit more about that, let me know in the comments below. In fact, I'm actually Coast Fire at this moment. But we got to talk about some common concerns and some common questions that may come up. And these are great questions that some people might have. So first, why not just VOO? VOO is great, but the total market gives me a broader exposure without guessing. In fact, all of VOO is already in VTI, so you get the best of the S&P 500 plus any small, mid, and large caps in that particular fund. The other question might be, why don't we have any international? So you can absolutely add international. Perfect idea to do if that's something that you're into. For me personally, I don't do that. US companies already earn globally, so I'm not really worried about international funds. And while international funds did do very well in 2025, the overall track record isn't the greatest. Next question is, why not go heavier on dividends? Why are you trying to avoid dividends early on? Well, as I mentioned earlier, dividends are not free money, and your taxed income can actually slow your growth down if it's used too early. So I want to grow the portfolio first and then enjoy the dividends later for asset protection. Because if you think about it, if you grow your portfolio through growth and these stronger funds to, let's say, $1 million, $2 million, $3 million, and then you convert a portion of that into dividends, well, those dividends are going to be quite high compared to only buying one share at the beginning, because that one share could only pay you a couple cents. It doesn't make any sense at all in the beginning. But now the most important part along the journey, rebalancing. Rebalancing is critically important. I don't rebalance constantly, but I rebalance when life changes. So for example, if you have a new job that you got, maybe you have a big income jump, you got kids, you're closer to retirement and things like that, that's when your allocation should start evolving. As you graduate from each of the stages that we looked at in today's video, that's another great time to start rebalancing to make sure that your overall portfolio is balanced in the way that fits your goals in the future. So you might ask, well, how do I rebalance? Well, it's looking at the percentages in your portfolio. So let's say, for example, you're 30 years old and QQQM, it takes off like a rocket. You now have 50% in QQQM, 45% in VTI, and only 5% in SCHD. Let's say our settled target at that time was 60, 30, 10. So what I might do is sell some of my QQQM and apply it to either VTI or SCHD. Now, keep in mind, if you're doing this in a taxable brokerage account, always make sure you focus on tax optimization or check with a financial advisor or accountant. You can also take the easy way out and just put everything into VTI. It's totally your call. So here is my question for you. Would you like me to show my entire portfolio? This will show you how much I'm invested in the 3-fund portfolio, my small amount of individual stocks, my crypto, and more. So if you would find this valuable, all I need you to do is comment down below with the word portfolio, please. If enough people comment with that, that video will be next. And if it's already available, you'll see that video here. And make sure you thank everybody in the comments that helped make this video happen for you so you don't have to comment. You don't need perfect numbers. You need a plan that grows with you. Keep building your Sharpe money. Check out this video next, and we'll see you on the next video.